Hello, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over the 2022 Senate and governor elections and the 2024 presidential election. All of them as how they're looking up as of February 4th, 2020. And if you didn't know, these are how I characterize the races. See on Washington State over here, that means safe blue, which is 15 points or more for the Democratic Party. Likely blue, which means 7 points or more for the Democratic Party. Lean blue, 2 or more points for the Democratic Party, and tilt blue under 2 points for the Democratic Party. Safe red, 15 more for the Republican Party. Likely 7 or more. Lean 2 or more, and and tilt under 2. So yeah, let's get right into how I think 2024 will look like. First I gotta change the electoral votes. This is an outdated version. California's actually losing an electoral vote, and New York is also losing only one, not two. Everything else, I believe, is correct here. So, yeah, it's still 538. Let's get right into it. The states I think will go to the general Republican by 15 points or more is Idaho. Yeah. Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, North Dakota, South Dakota, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Nebraska at large. Nebraska's 3rd district. Also, that might be it for the Republican Party being safe. Just so you know, the only reason there's not as many safe states as there was this last year is just because Indiana will probably go by a little bit under 15 points because Mike Pence doesn't give that advantage, and black people do really well in statewide races in Indiana. That's why Obama actually won there the first time, and I think I don't know, Indiana's a little weird. Missouri will probably be a little bit under 15 points. Kansas will probably be around 10 to 13 points for the Republican that runs here. In 2024, it went around 14 points for Donald Trump. Montana uh, probably will probably also be under 15 points for whatever Republican runs, especially with the Democratic senator here. And Obama doing well here both times, and saying that a generic Democrats always do a little bit better than expected in Montana. And Kamala Harris, if she is a nominee, will do uh, pretty good here, especially since Obama did well here. Uh, this is a whole thing about Montana that I have. But yeah, Montana generally will probably go a little bit under 15 points. Nebraska's 1st district will probably also do the same. Mississippi will probably also be a little bit under 15 points. So you notice how basically all the states I have filled in right now are over 15 points or a little bit under for the Republican Party. It's not that these states are going to be competitive, it's just that they're going to be in a likely column for the Republican Party. Now, states I think will go to the generic Democrat by over 15 points are Washington, Oregon, California, Colorado, yes, Colorado, New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Maryland, DC, and Hawaii. That is it for the safe states for the Democratic Party. Actually, Oregon is not safe, in my opinion. It's going to be Oregon's always been a little bit more competitive than the other safe Democratic states, and Donald Trump, Republicans are doing better in the Northeast than they ever did before. Uh, Delaware and New Jersey expect to be a little bit under 15 points. Same with Oregon and Illinois. It's not really going to be that much of a flip towards the Republican Party, but it will be a little bit. Not that these states are shifting that much in any direction, except for Illinois. Illinois is part of the Rust Belt and will eventually go Republican within the next 10, 15 elections. But yeah, I think Minnesota will be lean to the Democratic Party. Not too much of an argument there. You could argue be tilt or maybe tilt Republican, but you can't argue a healthy lead for the Republican Party in Minnesota with Joe Biden's 7-point lead here, and with George Floyd's death, and how well black candidates do in Minnesota, and how much the minority party can't caters to the Democratic Party in Minnesota. Everything about Minnesota is a perfect state for the Democrats, except now now with the rest of the Rust Belt, as you see, Minnesota's losing population because it's losing an electoral vote. So is Michigan, Ohio, Illinois, Pennsylvania. All these states are losing an electoral vote. While the Sun Belt, where Texas is gaining 3, Arizona's gaining 1, Colorado's gaining 1, Florida's gaining 2, and North Carolina's gaining 1. See, all of the north is going down to the south, and that is going to be a crucial part for the Democratic Party in the next few elections. More than likely, the Republican Party carries Texas in 2024. It's going to be a very close race. If the Democratic Party carries it, it's going to be a not close race at all. So currently, I do have Texas going to the Republican Party by tilt margin, although I do see it as a true toss-up, as within the last 5 elections, 10 elections, Texas has always gone to the left every single time. It's always been gaining in minority population every single time. Every census, every poll is just going more and more to the left. Every single time more data is coming out. Texas is a rapidly growing Sunbelt state to the Democratic Party and will be extremely key to their electoral college wins in the future. Now, South Carolina also gaining a lot of minority party for voters for the Democratic Party. And I do see whatever Republican running in 2024 doing a little bit worse than Donald Trump. Donald Trump was an extraordinary candidate for this region of the country. He did extraordinarily well in the entire Rust Belt, not just Iowa and Ohio. He ended up carrying Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Iowa, flipping all of them by over 10 points from 2012 to 2016. And then again, even after everything that happened in 2020, he still managed to hold on to Iowa and Ohio by the same amount of margins and hardly losing any amount of support in these 3 states. The only state he significantly lost support in was Minnesota. That is it. In Minnesota, it didn't even flip for Ronald Reagan, so that doesn't even really say much. So while Texas in the Sun Belt is rapidly growing towards the Democrats, so is the Rust Belt towards the Republicans. The Rust Belt will eventually be Republican, a reliably Republican area. It's going to flip from this region of the country, the South going to the Republicans, to the South going to the Democrats. And that will be a very interesting take on how much the Electoral College really gets right. Now, New Mexico, I did say in the past it would go over 15 points to whoever runs here. I only see that happening if it's going to Kamala Harris, although we don't know the nominee, and it'll more than likely just be a generic Democrat. But you know what I mean. It'll more than likely be Kamala Harris is what I meant. But the fact that we don't know that right now, I'm just going to say as a generic Democrat, it would go to them by a little bit under 15 points, maybe shift to the actually right a little bit because Biden did extraordinarily well among Latinos in New Mexico and whites in New Mexico, and those are the biggest demographics here. It is one of the least black states, so it's not just the black. It's hardly any of the black vote that really carries out New Mexico. It's just the minority population in general is what makes New Mexico a democratic state. Similar with Virginia. Virginia is a rich, wealthy state, and it will more than likely be around the same margin. I see some part of Virginia, like the minority party, going even more to the left than they did in 2020, but I see the rich part of Virginia, again, one of the richest states, I see that part of the state going more to the right than it did. So Virginia, I expect to stay around the same margin as it did. Same with Nevada, but for different reasons, hard to explain. Actually, right now I do see Nevada going tilt to the Democrats. It's a whole thing right now. Nevada has not gone at a comfortable rate to the Democrats in a very long time. I'm not sure how much I see Nevada catering to the Democrats and helping them in 2024. It honestly could go to the Republican Party by a leaner tilt margin. Only time I see a healthy margin going for the Democrats in Nevada in 2024 would be if Kamala Harris is the nominee. Again, Harris would do very, very, very well in the Electoral College. She could bring Florida back to a tilt margin for the Republican Party and up to a lean for the Democratic Party. And she could carry North Carolina for the Democrats for the first time since 2008. So it would be 16 years. That would be the first time Democrats carry North Carolina in 16 years, and I could see her doing that. After Joe Biden flips Arizona for the first time in about 30 years, same with Georgia. Georgia, with its extremely fast-growing minority population, faster than Texas, faster than Arizona, faster than South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida. I see Georgia being less than a swing state in the future. And I do see it being a good start for the Democrats in the Rust and the Sun Belt. Now, Arizona, I have similar thoughts about. Except Arizona shows just what a white candidate of the Democratic Party can do. However, sorry, I'm going to have Nevada as lean, or tilt, actually. I do see Arizona going more Democrat than Nevada. Depending on how Harris does, I don't know. I see the biggest way that the Democratic Party could carry Arizona is if Kamala Harris is the nominee, but Joe Biden campaigns for her a lot here. That is my best guess. Now, if Kamala Harris, if say Joe Biden is ineligible to run, or no, not run, but campaign, say something happens, I do see Arizona possibly flipping. It does not have that much of a growing minority population. It has a white population that is trending towards the Democrats. So we'll see. After John McCain died, Arizona really saw a lot going on. And it's really hard to explain, but that's the best way I can say it. Generically, I do see North Carolina and Florida going to red, but if Kamala Harris is the nominee, I do see a completely different scenario pulling out. Now, if the Republican Party chooses a black candidate for their nominee, they would take a significant amount, not a lot, but a significant amount from the Democratic Party. Not just because they're black, but a generic black person representing the Republican Party could show more diversity and encourage more turnout. However, it could also make them do worse. I'm not sure. Michigan, I see tilting towards the Democrats. I see it going to the right of what it did in 2020, but not by much. So that's why I have that as that. See Minnesota doing the same, New Hampshire doing the same, Maine doing the same, Maine's first district doing the same, except this one will probably not eventually go Republican for a long time. I do see Maine's second district going red by a similar margin as it did to Trump in 2020 and 2016. I see Alaska going around, 10 points to the Republican Party. Wisconsin around 2 points for the Republican Party, and around half a point to a 1 point for the Republican Party in Pennsylvania. And I do see Democrats carrying Nebraska, second district, by a lean margin. So, yeah, that is how I see the 2024 election going on. As of now, we're going to save this into my 2024 map, overwrite. And now we can go. Oh, actually, yeah, we do have to do this. Now we can go to the governor elections, which will have way more conversation than they did in the 2020 elections. I do see Oregon going around under 15 points for the Democratic Party. Again, I haven't. Not all. It's going to be a little more inaccurate than my predictions in 2020, but until we find out the nominees. But this is just how it's going to look. I got the governor elections in the 2020 presidential election 100% correct, and the Senate elections 90% correct. I'm pretty proud of how I did. California, I expect going over by over 15 points. Colorado, around 15 points. New Mexico, same. I expect Maryland to go a little bit under 15 points for the Democratic Party. Larry Hogan cannot run again, so I do see some hesitation for Democrats that did vote for Larry Hogan voting for the Democratic candidate in Maryland. So this will be the first flip that I have projected on here. However, I do see Delaware going safe or likely to the Democratic Party for their governor election. New York safe, Vermont safe, Massachusetts I see going to the Republicans by almost 15 points. I see New Hampshire going safe margin, and actually no, Massachusetts safe for the Republican Party. I see Kansas going lean to the Republican Party, only because they already have a Democratic governor for some reason. So honestly, Democrats could hold on to it. I'm not sure. Kansas is going more blue than it was, but as of now, I do see Kansas going safe to the Republican Party. And yes, I am filling in some of these as I talk because no one is really interested in some of these. I see Illinois going by under 15 points, Rhode Island, Connecticut over 15 points, South Carolina, I could see being pretty competitive. One of the first competitive races we see in South Carolina within a long time. I do see Georgia flipping by tilt margin, and Arizona also flipping the governor seat by tilt margin, and Nevada holding by likely margin, like 13 points. Hawaii safe, Minnesota likely, Michigan lean, Pennsylvania tilt, Wisconsin tilt, Ohio safe right now anyway. Iowa likely. Honestly, it's not going to be that competitive for the states that the Republicans win, except for Kansas and Texas. I do see Texas right now. Beto O'Rourke says he's interested in running in Texas as of right now. I do think he will, and that is why I'm keeping it as a tilt blue for the governor races, and that is something I've not done in a long, long time. And man, I see being lean to the Democratic Party. I honestly do not think Texas could have a top blue seat for a while, like a few more years, but Beto O'Rourke did pretty well for the Senate seat that he ran for. He didn't win, obviously, but he did pretty well, and I do see him winning if he runs for governor against the current incumbent governor of Texas. So that is how I see things going right now for the governor races. Let me know your thoughts on that. And we will be going to my last one over here, the Senate elections. I did change this up a little bit. I'm just going to fill in this one real quick, at least the safe states real quick. North Dakota, South Dakota, Idaho, Utah, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Kentucky, Indiana, I don't know, Missouri going by under 15 points, Kansas going by a little bit under 15 points as well. Alaska safe. No, Alabama safe, I meant. Chris Sununu, if he runs in New Hampshire, I do see the Republicans winning by tilt margin. I think that with as much effort as the Democrats put in 2020, they could lose by a likely or lean margin. But if they see that New Hampshire will be competitive with Chris Sununu, I do see it being a very close race. Now, Vermont, New York, Connecticut, just under 15 points. Maine, I see going safe unless Larry Hogan runs as independent for some reason. It could be likely, but I do see Maryland going safe to the Democratic Party right now, especially with pretty popular senators. Hawaii, I see being safe. New York, I see being under 15 points, but almost around there. I meant Colorado. I don't know why I said the other thing. California, Washington, Oregon, likely. Yeah, there's just going to be a lot of uh, almost safe states, but not really safe. I see Wisconsin going by 2 points to the incumbent. I see Democrats flipping Pennsylvania by tilt margin with the help of Joe Biden. This will probably be the last time in a long time that Pennsylvania elects a Democratic senator, but Democrats are truly holding on here as much as they can. I see North Carolina being extraordinarily competitive. However, I see going to the Republican Party. I see South Carolina going lean and Florida going likely. So, I don't know. Wow, there's a lot of categories here that I'm not realizing about. Iowa likely, Ohio, very close to being safe. Only reason is the Republican here is not running again. So I do see the new Republican doing a little bit worse, but definitely winning by about a safe margin as well. Okay. I know we're trying to go through this quick. Arizona and Georgia lean, but Nevada likely. That is. Oh wait, what did I miss? Okay, here we go. Alaska lean if it's Lisa Murkowski. Not 100% sure who's running here though right now. Okay, now is that everything? I think this is everything. This is kind of weird because I swear I had uh Democrats having 51 seats. Oh, that's because I changed New Hampshire. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I still think that it'll be very competitive. I see Democrats flipping Pennsylvania, Republicans flipping New Hampshire. That's about it. Thank you guys for watching. These were my 2024 predictions. I'm trying to get through this really quick right now. So again, thank you guys for watching. Goodbye.